What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Salute to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Mia Khalifa once again, man. She's once again still complaining about her past and how she wants to get over it, even though her past wasn't that long ago. And she wants people, especially men, to forget about that. Even though Mia Khalifa has gone out of her way to embarrass others, expose others, she still thinks that it's everybody else's fault and that she was naive and she wants to move past her past, even though she has an OnlyFans now. You know, the same old. She's still complaining about the perception of her, even though she needs to move on. She just got divorced. Relationship just ended. So I just think that you have people like this who do things and they want people to just forget. And that's just not how the world works. And the reason why there are others who've been in the same industry as Mia Khalifa, who've been able to move on, who've been able to have maybe I would say a good or successful dating life or social life, is because they embrace who they are. Mia refuses to embrace who she is and what she did because she believes that she can create something outside of that. And she has not been able to do that. She tried being the super fan. She's tried podcasting. None of that has worked because she's not talented. She's just good at looking a certain way and getting attention from it. And she refuses to accept that. She really believes she's a talented person and she's not. And she needs to understand what her niche is and understand that guys are going to know of you from your past. If you really didn't like your past, you would change your name. Why don't you change your name? It's because she benefits from it. But the complaining, maybe in her mind, she gets more attention from complaining because no one would care if she would embrace it, right? But what she also does is she basically makes it seem like what she's doing is wrong. Even though she claims to support women who get into that type of industry, you're still shaming it by trying to distance yourself from it. Let's get into this article from Yahoo. I was naive. Mia Khalifa on life after adult films and reclaiming her power with OnlyFans. When Mia Khalifa, who's 28, looks back on her younger self, she sees a woman who was struggling with confidence. I was looking to other people to put value on myself. Ain't that what a lot of women do nowadays? They look to Instagram to get value to value themselves from other people, to get their self-worth from other people. I was looking for validation in every crevice I could. Without actually doing internal work, Khalifa tells Yahoo Life. Well, are you still doing that? You're still looking in yourself, right? Because you're still complaining. You have not really taken the time to really invest in fixing yourself. You're still the same person you was in your early 20s. At 21, Khalifa spent 3 months in the adult film industry, starring in 12 films that today have garnered more than 1 billion views on certain sites. And her ascent into the industry was quick and featured controversial video in which she wore hijab. During a scene, she got threats from the Islamic State of Iraq, Syria, and Khalifa decided to exit the industry. She now refers to that period of her life as a lapse in judgment. Yeah, but you didn't go to OnlyFans. That was never meant to last. I was naive, vulnerable, and malleable. Very easily talked into things. Really? That easy, huh? Especially if it was by a man, she says. Oh, let's blame men for being able to smooth talk you into taking off your clothes. That's why I can only imagine how many, bodies she has accumulated over that time outside of the industry. If it's so easy for men to be able to talk Mia Khalifa into doing certain things, I can only once again imagine how easy it was for them to talk her clothes off, if that's what she's saying. Now Khalifa is speaking out about her experience in the film industry and the path that led her there. The influencer and content creator is vocal about the exploitation she experienced and hopes her story can shield other women from going through the same. Well, good luck with that, Mia, because they're still getting into the industry, but they're doing it from home. But you need to understand that there are guys who are managing multiple Instagrams and OnlyFans accounts. So it's still the same structure. It just seems like that particular female is running it. But you have dudes out here who are managing multiple female accounts. So the exploitation is still there. But to me, I just think she's running away from decisions that she made. I thought women were always more mature than men. Isn't that what people say? You know, women are more mature than men. So because women are more mature than men, they don't make the same mistakes, right? But she's saying that because she was young and naive, that's why she did what she did. Instead of her taking accountability and said, I made those choices, but I'm going to move forward. She's still trying to shame, and she's still trying to talk away her past. And you just can't do that. You did 12 films. It's not like you did 1 or 2. You did 12, according to you. Could be more. You did 12 films. That's a lot of film. That's a lot of thinking before doing. Moving on. What I can take away from this is protecting other women and being a cautionary tale. You know, I get the sense that Mia doesn't have very many female friends, to be honest with you. She doesn't seem like she does. You only see Mia Khalifa around dudes. You don't really see her around other women because she probably doesn't get along with other women. That's what happens when you have women who have extreme low self-esteem. They don't get along with each other. They're too busy trying to compete with each other. So they will surround themselves with males to make them feel good about themselves. Born in Lebanon, Mia and her family moved to the United States in 2001. They settled in Montgomery County, Maryland, where Mia says she struggled with fitting in, especially after 9/11. I tried so hard to be Caucasian for so long, she says, all these little red flags that led to internalized discrimination, which I did not work through until I went into therapy at 25. Growing up in an area like that was difficult for someone who was Middle Eastern. America's views on Middle Eastern people changed completely after 9/11. High school was tough for Mia, who lacked confidence and battled low self-esteem. I was overweight and didn't really have very many friends. I didn't look like everyone else who was around me, and that led me into a relationship that I should not have entered. And those were the steps that led me into the industry. Mia just made $1,000 per scene, or $12,000 total for the film she starred in. Today, those videos have earned millions of dollars, but due to the contract she signed, Mia makes no money. On the back end, she also has no ownership of the videos and images that exist of her online content that she is fighting to have removed. Well, good luck with that, because people have downloaded that content. That content is not going away. And when you go up against some of these companies that own that stuff, man, what's on the internet is there forever. It's there forever. I don't think anyone who doesn't have a legal background fully understands what those contracts say. There's so much jargon and there's so many loopholes and just roundabout ways of expressing things that is predatory to say the least, says Mia. It makes me feel infuriated because it's so out of my control. Well, that's what happens when you sign contracts. When you sign contracts, those things are going to be out of your hands. There's only so much fight I want to put into it without also sacrificing my mental health, but it's also not something I ever fully give up on, because that's basically like putting the nail in my own coffin. What she's meaning by that is she can't run away from her past. And she wants to run away from her past. She does not want people to know what she did. When you signed that contract and you took that money, you did that for your own reasons. But because you feel like, you know, men don't look at you the same, because that's what it's about. It ain't about society. I mean, society accepts scrippers as rappers. So it's not about what society says. It's what about men. It's the perception from men. This is why this woman is so unlikable, is because she lashes out at men. She tries to expose men for being in her DMs. She's a very unlikable person. So she put the nail in her own coffin. It had nothing to do with, the content not being able to come down. It's the fact that she is a very unlikable person, and it has a lot to do with her. If she was more of a likable person, people would understand her cause a little bit more. But she is very unlikable. And because of that, people really don't care what she has to say. One way Mia has reclaimed her powers by controlling her own image and brand on social media. She currently has more than 53 million followers combined on Instagram and TikTok, and said that connecting with other women who have been exploited online has made her feel more empowered. TikTok has been better than therapy. Of course, on anything online is therapy. When y'all see people do crazy, weird things, it's because it's their therapy. The women who tell their stories, who are brave enough to put their faces on the internet and share their experiences, that is where my confidence comes from, says Mia. That's been the biggest key to battling my own shame and seeing all of these women who have been through these things that are a lot worse than I have and come out like fighting with skin under their nails. Well, once again, that's decisions that these women made. And we cannot let these women get from under the choices that they made. They have made these choices and they want people to forget about it. They want people to ignore it. No, we're not. We're never going to forget what you did and the choice that you made. Okay? Because there are a lot of women who've done what you've done and they're not doing what you're doing now. They're not trying to make the world forget what they did. They embrace it. That's why people embrace them. Why do you think there are certain adult entertainers who get embraced in society and popular culture? Because they embrace what they did and who they are. You just didn't get as much out of it as you thought you were going to get, but you have, because you kept the name. You kept the name that you have. I don't know, maybe it's her birthday and she doesn't want to change it, which is fine. But you signed a contract with that name. You chose to have that name used, and that's the name that you're going to be identified as. And I think that when you have women like this who are doing this, they're not doing it because society just won't accept, women who've been in the industry. That's not true. That's not true at all. People accept that into pop culture. They do. She just wants the collective of men to forget about it. She wants the collective. She wants a fresh start. She wants a start over. She wants a do over. But that starts with you. That starts with you understanding who you are and embracing it. Now I'm going to skip through some of this. A lot here. It says OnlyFans has not only been profitable for Mia, but also allows her to retain ownership of the content she creates. It's really about the accessibility to just ending it all if I ever feel like it. I love that control. What's different about OnlyFans is that there's so much more of a connection to the fans, and I trust the people who I'm sending my content out to the point to where even if it leaks, I'm not too worried about it because I'm proud of what I'm putting out there. The platform has been good for Mia, but she's aware of the impact it can have on young girls, especially those struggling with self-esteem or the pressure to meet impossible beauty standards. I never understood this whole I'm going to empower myself by being more of a slur, right? I've never understood that. I thought you empower yourself by cleaning yourself up and getting out of whatever industry you were once in. But OnlyFans is not any different than the industry she came from. I mean, there's all types of content there. It's not that different. The only difference is who's the owner, who's posting the content. That's the only difference, but you're still exploiting yourself because this is not the only way to make it. And if Mia really wanted to send a message to younger women, you would tell them this ain't the only way. Go do other things, but she's not doing that. because she doesn't have any talent to do anything else. And there are other women who are going to see what she's doing and say, "We know what? I don't have talent either. Why don't I go and do this?" And then wonder why men see me the way they see me. It's because of the decisions that you are making. And once again, she's still making she's still trying to turn, she still have been able to turn a negative into a negative, because there is no way she has been able to really help anybody by telling them to do anything other than this. But she's like, go for it. You control that. But it's like you're putting those same girls in those same situations, because let me tell you what's going to happen. Those same girls are going to work with other people, because I'm pretty sure that there are people making content on OnlyFans that do that film with other girls on OnlyFans, and those girls are going to get caught up in that too. So they're still going to be producing for other people in some way, shape, or form. But that's just my take on it. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you like this video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.